it's a behavior that you have to correct. But see, you've been doing it your whole life. You've been doing it so much that you don't find that what you're doing to be abnormal or not right. You don't find. This is the thing. Have you ever been around a married couple that was happily married to learn what it means to be a married man in a marriage?
He was around Miss Davis.
Miss Davis was the one that.
They were happily married.
Because
Okay.
before that,
But that's not his biggest example.
before that,
That's
She's
not
also
his
the same.
excuse me.
She's
before
also.
That, excuse me.
Just say
I
what
can
you
speak for myself when it comes to my family. Before that, I've seen abuse and neglect from majority of the married couples in my whole family.
Right, like I said, you don't have a continuous. You don't know what it's like to see married people to be doing married couple things.
Except for Mr. and Mrs. Davis.
Well, even then, to apply something that's not something that was a part of your life long term, you had to balance it out. You had to have more of what Mr. and Mrs. Davis was putting out there than everybody else. You see one couple probably compared to 10. What one couple going to have? How is one couple really going to show you how to be a husband to a wife when you got this dozen of people, of dozens of couples showing you what they do? And I mean couples. We're not talking about a happily married couple. We're talking about a dozen of couples. That could be your mother, your father. That could be your auntie, your uncle. That could be your neighbors. That could be your friends. That could be your sisters and brothers, siblings and cousins. That could be your family members. If you got a dozen of those that's doing wrong and you got one doing right, you're going to think that one doing right doing something wrong. Or they not telling you everything. Or they're not showing you everything. And you're going to follow what the dozen do. Because you feel as though that the dozen is what the normal is. So now that you have that mindset from early childhood, you're taking this into your adulthood. You took it into your teenage years. You took it into your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. And here we are. Now you are set in your ways because you haven't learned what it's like to be in a happily married marriage. You're not trying to reciprocate what you seen auntie and uncle do, or Mr. and Mrs. Barnes
Davis.
Okay, Lord, I'm fucked up with things. Forgive me, but that my mom. She really didn't get a chance to see couples, but she had her view of what she knew what she didn't want anymore in her life. She knew what a marriage was supposed to look like. She had a great idea what it was supposed to feel like. Then she taught it to her kids. I'm going to say she was this close to actually getting what she wanted. But at the same time, being this close and then having people tell her, bitch, you ain't right. You ain't right. Whatever you think you're doing, you need to not. You need to stop. That man above your rank. And we talk about my dad because my dad was amazing. The only man that ever loved her right, even when he was wrong. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right.
All right, then. Fuck it. Don't tell me I don't know.
Yeah, because look, when it came to certain things, even with Ron, it was like, brother, you cannot do no wrong because, I'm going to make you right. And this is exactly where this is at. It's hanging in there, trying to make it right.
She tried to do half the shit she do with you and my dad. He would have knocked that ass the fuck out. And I hate to tell you that shit. And he gonna be like, yeah, try to dial 911. It's gonna come up 919. But my dad was not an abuser, but he would not.
He put things in check.
He
put things in check.
My father, and not to compare nobody to nobody, but my dad was very
firm. No, he was
aggressive.
Firm. He was firm.
Okay, so
aggressive with you, firm with me.
No, he was firm with me. He wasn't aggressive with me. He was never aggressive with me. My dad was.
He taught.
My dad taught.
If he ever had to hit you,
and listen. That was your ass, and he'll make it so that
you'll never want to do it.
Fucking touch you. I'm gonna let your bullshit touch you, and I had to learn that. He said to stop jumping on the bed before you bump your head. Keep jumping on that fucking bed. Watch you bump your head, and little do you know, 5 seconds later you fell and bumped your damn head. See, that's why you gotta listen to Daddy. When he say stop doing shit, you stop doing it. You nip that shit in the bud. Don't try me. Don't play games with me. Keep it 100. And little do you know, and I hate saying it, and I say that about your wife and your mother, and I say that about your brother and your father, because that's how I am with Damon. Damon will push you the fuck out the door and say, you bitch, fly. And you better fly better than me. And you will cry. And I've cried. And he will tell you, nope, stop fucking crying. Ain't nothing to fucking cry about. But my dad was the same way. Fuck you crying for?
And so was Ricky.
Fucking cry.
Yep, Ricky was the same way.
My uncle was the same fucking way. I remember that's the last thing. Well, you fucking want to do it, then you need to just do it. Well, what do you mean? What does that mean? But you don't like the way shit going in your life? Get up and make a fucking change.
That's right. And you be like, but how does that work? How does that look? Put one foot in front of the other and get out there and try. And try. That's right.
And I ain't never knew what the fuck that meant
until you got out there.
Get the fuck up out the door and make it fucking happen. And my whole family is built like that. You call my grandfather just royally cussed me out this morning. I was in tears trying to figure out why my grandfather coming at me like this. I just called to check up on him and shit. He cussing me out talking about my auntie told me I was in a crisis. I said, what the fuck you mean I'm in a crisis? I'm driving a Tesla. What do you mean? I'm good as shit.
But driving a Tesla do not make you all right.
It don't. But at the end of the day, I'm getting better one day at a time. Look, I gotta take these baby steps to life. It's just not easy, you know. I've been used to eating comfortably how I wanted to eat.
So it's about like
I've been
seriously
spoiled fucking rotten for 8 years. I didn't have to work. I didn't have to get up and have to tend to anything.
But right
all
now,
I had to do was wash. I got up. I will wash clothes 3 o'clock in the fucking morning every other day. That was my life.
So, Ryan, what do you want, honestly? Because we can sit here and talk till we're blue in our face. You're never really saying anything, and to keep living yesterday is over and done with.
He's not who he's not in his element to bring out his essence.
His essence or his element. You gotta. Well, I can't
here.
stick around for bullshit.
And I mean, I hate to put it to you in such a blunt and nasty way.
Because I done worked
But
on your
here's
5
what I'm
books
saying
and
to
still
you.
here.
Hear what I'm saying to you, and hear
You
what
gotta
I'm
do
saying
something.
to you loud and clear. When you get dressed up and you go out that door, you're a different man.
And he needs to
She
talk
don't
about
know
that
the
difference.
Mom,
Because
you
I'm
sit
sick of
here
it.
recording and think somebody is supposed to be.
No, I shut this off. But the point
But-
of it is,
But do you hear what I'm saying?
I'm
When
tired.
you walk out the door, you are a different man. Maybe the man that my mom expected you to be or expects you to be. But the thing is, when you're in here, you shut down. And then you want somebody to not say nothing or not respond like, we don't know who the fuck this is. When I met you and I talked to you, you was very sure of yourself in the beginning. Very sure of yourself. You knew right then and there was nobody going to tell you jack shit about how you felt about this woman here. And though I heard it, I also heard uncertainty too. But I was figuring y'all would have been able to break that at least with the first conversation I had with you. Never would I thought that it would have come down to this 2-3 years later, and you still can't communicate the things that you need to communicate in your relationship with your wife. This is not something that you just brush under the rug unless you're comfortable with your sneaky link.
and I hate
If
it.
you're comfortable with your sneaky link, let your sneaky link be your sneaky link. But be 100 with her. That's your wife. Give her the option to say, yeah, you can have a sneaky link as long as I can have one too. Give her that option to say if that's what you're going to do it. Give her the space she needs to breathe and to be able to accept or deny this shit. Don't hold her hostage and lock her in a situation and force her to deal with something that she's just not comfortable dealing with. And that's the unknown. But you know what you do. You know that you walk around the corner and you be busting bitches in the fucking alleyway and shit. If that's what you doing, that's what you doing. You busting bitches down in the fucking alleyway, you should be able to tell her straight up. I ain't even trusted to walk the fuck out the door. I ain't gotta go to nobody's fucking house. I need to tell you straight up. Yeah, I'll be busting bitches in the fucking behind the dumpster. And if that's what you doing, that's what you do. You got to be honest about what the fuck you do. But if you not being honest with her, but you could be honest with the pastor, the homie on the corner, what the fuck secrecy do you have with your wife? None. You got more respect for a motherfucking stranger than you do your wife. You scared of her?
Talking to other people instead of keeping it between us.
Well, you already fucked that up.
Sure did.
So at the end of the day, what good is it now? Just sit there and tell her, like, what the fuck you do? If you out there fucking bitches behind dumpsters, you fucking dumpster divers, that's your shit.
But what make him fucked up with me, he can't get a fuck it up. He can't even get a hard on. No, it's not right, Sherry, because it's hard.
Emasculate a man.
I am demasculated. He did that to himself.
Okay, and you help him.
You damn Skippy, because
So
you know
don't
this
sit
is
there
not
and
what
think
this
that
is
he's
about.
gonna touch you and when you
Who the fuck wants to be touched like that when I told him who the fuck I am?
He's a dumpster diver.